Welcome back. In this video, we're unveiling not one, not two, but three spine-tingling, bone-chilling melee builds just in time for the spookiest month of the year, October. First up to the chopping block, we have the Executioner build. This incognito man-guillotine dual wields the extremely underrated Rosus Axe. The Ash of War effectively combines a power strike with the Tibia summon spell, and it does not disappoint. We're running a successive attack build with these weapons, and so you'll want these talismans, these in your physics tier, and these buffs if you desire. For armor, we went with a mix of black armor pieces from various sets and the page hood. I like this build because the attack speed is extremely fast for weapons of this size, and the Tibia summons can even help you maintain those successive attacks. What is nice is that the Tibia summons portion of the Ash of War is cast immediately when activated, which means that even if you can't finish the strike, your skeleton buddies will. The Tibia summons also attack from all angles, which can get around defensives, like shields. Testing this on New Game Plus 8, it performed a lot better than we originally anticipated, living up to its name and executing even the toughest opponents with minimal effort. This is technically a strength intelligence build, so spec accordingly. Next up, you may want to hold on to your rainbow stones for this one, because we're going to start chopping things off with the Deathknight build. This is another deadly strength intelligence build that utilizes two Helphen steeples and the Haima glintstone crown, which suitably buffs strength and intellect. We also threw in the Raptor's black feathers for increased damage from jump attacks. The Ash of War is called Ruinous Ghostflame, and although the animation does do damage, it is more of a weapon buff than a direct attack. You can coat your offhand and then your main hand in your buff routine for a devastating damage increase that lasts 60 seconds. Once coated in Ghostflame, each weapon will do an additional 110 magic damage and 80 frost buildup. Our damage is buffed by items and skills that you would typically see from a typical jump or successive attack build. Once the frostbite procs, it will make the target vulnerable, increasing its damage taken by 20% for 30 seconds. And that is on top of the upfront frost damage that occurs when it procs for 10% of the max health of your enemy, or 7% for bosses. One of my favorite attacks in open world and PvP especially is this juke thrust combo. You can do this by pressing the dodge button without a direction, then hitting LB to plunge forward. It's awesome. Last up, we have the Unholy Templar build. This corpse-like character is very tanky, and although he's undead, he still clings to spells of the divine. This is probably the easiest build to attain early game, since most of these items can be looted open world or are at least accessible in the first half of a playthrough. We have the Icon Shield for some passive healing over time, the Blessed Dew Talisman for more passive healing over time, and the Corpse Armor for even more passive healing over time. That is the most passive healing you can passively heal. Note that the healing over time for the armor only works when you're at low health. The damage of this build comes from guard counters, which occur when you block an attack and follow up with a power attack. You know you're doing it right when you hear that steel cling sound. Comboing a thrust weapon with a shield allows you to attack while guarding, and since you get a lot of stance break from guard countering, I liked to use the rapier for its high crit damage. Since some enemies are hardened and take less damage than those kinds of attacks, I always keep a flail handy, and what flail screams death more than the family heads? Other good weapon options are great thrusting spears, as they have a longer reach than the rapier. This is a strength faith or dex faith build depending on your weapons of choice, but the faith talent is really only there for the incantations. You can change up your talismans depending on if you want to focus on healing over time and defense or critical strikes. And these spells. I hope you enjoyed our lethal undead builds. We'd like to know what kind of October themed builds you have for Elden Ring. Comment down below. If you like this video, check out our page. Consider liking and subscribing. We're also on TikTok now. And leave a comment below on videos that you would like to see in the future. Thank you for watching until the end, and goodbye.